Welcome one, welcome all, it's NK Surge. Yes, this is the second One Piece video in a row. Is it in a row? Huh. So the script says in a row, but I don't know if it'll be in a row because I'm saving this episode for insert upload date. For Gear 5th. But fret not, for One Piece will not be the... How can we say it? One Piece will not be the main attraction of this show. It will be more of a sideliner. Because for today's video, I actually want to go ahead and replace the magic system from the Owl House with Devil Fruits. I think it'd be pretty interesting to see what characters would fit with what fruits. And also, I guess it's a good thing that the Boiling Isles doesn't exactly have, you know, a good place to swim, huh? That's such a bad joke. Owl House, those that might not know the show, is a show released back in 2020 by Dana Terrence and Disney. It's now 2023 and it's about to be 2 months? By the time this video goes live, it's probably already been more than 2 months, but it's been around 2 months since this show aired its last episode, kind of unceremoniously, but I'm not going to go into the details to what happened with Owl House and Disney and Dana and... Is it Dana or is it Dana? And all the shit that happened, oh my god, I'm gonna... And all the shit that happened between all of them. It's kind of a shit show. All you should know is fuck Disney. But that's something we all already knew. Anyway, after 2 full seasons and a 3rd season that pretty much is just 3-hour-long episodes. Also, before anyone goes like, actually, they're not hour-long, shut the fuck up. I'm an anime fan. I watched One Piece. I was there for the hour-long Dragon Ball episodes that were released. I've been there for hour-long other episodes for other shows. We know to expect 45 minutes. And last I checked, all of these other all the Owl House episodes from season 3 are all over 45 minutes long. So I mean, hey, I see this as a dub. I don't know about you guys. But if you haven't watched the Owl House, I highly recommend it. It is pretty good, and even though they're stolen, these are both drawn by The Last Unicorn of Oz, Lumity, a really nice Lumity print, and a crossover between the Owl House and Hollowfields. They're really cool. Her links are going to be down in the description because she also made... Whoa, I don't know if this works. I, for some reason, went really hard on this video and even got her to make this art. But if they are here, I mean, they should still be here. I just don't know if I got that effect of, whoa, I'm going. But whatever. They're silhouetted. Because I don't want to spoil that. I want to show their designs with some little kind of animations that I made for them. I don't know. They're some cool little things I made for them. And obviously they'll be around this area the whole time I'm talking about the character. And we are going to be going over some spoilers here, some kind of big ones. And same for One Piece. There's a reason I didn't make this video when I originally wanted to make it, which was during the Owl House finale, like that short time where the Owl House was like super trending because it had just ended and it was the last episode. Because I wanted to wait up for the One Piece anime only watchers. The major one, which is the one I'm referring to, aired in episode insert title because I'm recording beforehand, so I can have I'm recording beforehand. That way I can have this ready to go after this episode airs. And that should have been the most recent One Piece episode. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you can keep watching. You can just skip over that part, honestly. There's gonna be a, like, skip to this moment in the episode, of course, because some people might not want to get spoiled on that yet, but that, in my opinion, was the coolest little one I made. And one last note before we get into this, besides the obviously, if you're enjoying the video, like, comment, subscribe, help me out. That's always a really cool thing to do. Besides all that, the last note is that I want to try to stick to the canon devil fruits as much as I can. I'm saying this because in two examples, I'm going into non-canon fruits. One which you can make the argument extremely easy to be, yeah, I expect there to be a fruit like that. And the other one being just straight up from a movie and some live stages. But other than that, let's get going. I should give a quick explanation on devil fruits. I can kind of explain the Allen House magic a little bit as well. Pretty much, witches have magic pouches right next to their heart, and thanks to the influence of Emperor Bellows, which I can kind of make an argument a good representation for the world government, but I'm not getting into that. But thanks to Emperor Bellows and all his rulings due to being emperor, all his rules, sorry, you kind of have to join a coven, a specific coven, and you can only do specific magic from that unless you either rebel and become a wild witch, or you become one of the best people when you're being taught magic, and then you can go into the Emperor's Coven and you're free to do whatever magic you want. For One Piece, though, the devil fruits are a bit more complex because they come in 3 different categories, that being Logia, next one Paramecia, and lastly the zones. And we're going to start off with the zones real quick because those are kind of the harder ones to explain, because they also have their little split tree of different zones. First off, we have regular zones, which are just animals. Like, you can think of like a cow or an ox or a dog, and that would be like a regular zone, a zone fruit. Pretty much you would be able to transform your body into the full form of the animal, or a mixture of your human and that form, so a hybrid of that. There's also a mythical variant, which that's stuff for like phoenixes, dragons, kitsunes, mythical animals, kind of writes itself. There's also ancients, which is like stuff like dinosaurs and even insects, like I forgot the name of that spider. I'm not gonna put it on this, but a prehistoric spider. And then we have the Paramecias, which these are kind of where everything that doesn't fit in the Logia or in the zone category kind of goes to die. We have stuff like Robin's Hanehana no Mi, which lets her bloom body parts wherever she can visualize, I believe. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We have Vice Admiral Suru's wash fruit, I think it's what it's called, where she just washes the evil right off you. Like, if you were a piece of clothing, she throws you into the washing machine, I guess. She's also pretty cool. And finally, we got the Logias, which lets you take on the attributes of a certain element and lets you control and manipulate said element, such as Ace's Mera, which was making him a fire, or Smoker's. I do not know the name of that fruit, but that's pretty much the rundown on devil fruits. There's a bit more to Paramecias. There's a bit more to everything, but that's with this simple understanding and the simple understanding of, I guess, the characters from Owl House, it'll make sense where we're going. Speaking of the characters, why don't we get started with one of my favorite characters? Yes, I know we are starting off with an extremely powerful devil fruit, and if you do not know the Owl House and you're seeing this child here, you're probably like, what? This fruit is way too powerful for this kid. But hear me out. Based on how his magic looks in the Owl House, I believe that the best fruit to give to Hunter is the Pika Pika no Mi, for the simple fact that his magic just looks very similar to stuff like Kizaru's Yata no Kagami. And the way he fights is very reliant on teleporting around his opponent, trying to get behind him and get a good hit. It's he's also trained by the Emperor, which, like, I was making the world government connection earlier, kind of so I can make the Golden Guard and people that work around him, like the soldiers and stuff like that, as the Marines. Being the Golden Guard, he would be, you know, kind of similar to an admiral. And again, if you watch the Owl House, Hunter does end up leaving his role as the Golden Guard, such as a certain admiral. I guess that connection is not that strong to Kizaru, since Kizaru is still with the world government, but I don't know. I still think Kizaru's fruit is probably one of the best fitting ones for Hunter. Not only is he, like, by far probably not one of the weakest members, he's probably one of the strongest members of the people I'm going to be going over through in this list, but it just fits so well. And following the fruit of an admiral to the fruit of another admiral, small spoiler alert, this is an admiral that has not been seen in the anime yet, but it's not really a big spoiler. Like, it's nothing important. Here's the skip if you really don't want to see it, but as I said, it's a very minor spoiler, I guess, and is what I'm trying to say. Woods fruit. Willow. This admiral has been name dropped in the anime. He has been known as Ryukyugyu. Ryukyugyu. I cannot pronounce this for the end of me. Ryukyugyu. Ryukyugyu. Or as now we know him by Aramaki, his real name, because Ryukyugyu is Green Bull. His fruit is the Morimori no Mi, and it's an extremely powerful fruit, as the name implies, the woods. You're a plant logia. You grow plants on deserted wastelands by walking on them. It's an extremely powerful fruit, and I think fits Willow really well. To be fair, out of all the plant magic that we saw in the Owl House, I think Willow's was the strongest. Like, we did see the head of the Coven use her plant magic, but I don't know, it never looked as impressive as the stuff that Willow was doing. So I think that devil fruit, the plant logia, is perfect for her. She's an extremely powerful witch. Also, it's that connection, just like, because I think the whole idea of this video came to me because Uni was like, oh, like, I think she asked something around the realms of, like, what devil fruits would you give to certain characters, and the first one that popped up to me was the Morimori no Mi for Willow. So it was, like, kind of like the most obvious one, even when I started looking at different devil fruits and stuff. Speaking of looking through the list of devil fruits, Viso fruit, Gus. For Gus, I knew I was going to have a hard time choosing a devil fruit from him. Just because there really isn't any devil fruits that have done something similar to illusions. And if I were really forcing myself to stay canon, I would probably give Gus the Mr. 2 Bon Clay's fruit. I forgot the name of the fruit, but the one that lets you switch the body to a person that you've touched. I think that would be the closest fruit we've had to something to an illusionist kind of magic thing. But as I was going through a list of all the devil fruits, including the non-canon ones, I came across the Biju no Mi, a devil fruit that allows a person to make illusionary imagery of stuff they have touched. Let's say I've touched.
Hey y'all, and Editor Night Surge here. Just to let you know, I did a really shitty explanation on the power of the Biju Biju. What it is in essence is that it's a devil fruit that lets you touch an image, and then you turn that image into an illusion. It could even be an image of like a person, for example, like in the movie that it's used, and the character that has it uses it to touch Ace's wanted poster and makes an illusion of Ace. It is not. I don't know if these have like actual attack capabilities or anything because they're illusions. But in the scene that's up right now with the dragon, it actually shakes the ships that are in front of it. And in the Ace scene that I mentioned, two Hikens are created, and they're both separate, like stopping the Navy ships. So maybe they can do shit. I'm not sure, but enjoy the video.
It's not as strong as Gus's magic, which like sucks because Gus is a really powerful illusionist. It's just the closest thing I was able to find, and for it being a non-canon fruit, it came out in 2 One Piece live stage shows, and in Stampede. Its user is Ann. This is her. Yeah, but it's like out of all the non-canon fruits, it's been in the most media, I want to assume, because I feel like most non-canon double fruits only show up for that one time in that one movie or in that one live stage, and this one's shown up in 2 live stages and in a movie. So I don't know. It's kind of, I guess it's the closest non-canon fruit. Because yeah, like we haven't really gotten anything that's more like illusion based. I guess. Oh, I guess you could have made the argument for the mirror fruit. Yeah, I guess you could totally make the argument for the mirror fruit. Burley ate that fruit. Oh my god, yeah, you could totally make the argument for that one, actually. That's my bad, I should have given that one to Gus, but... Well, there we go, that's the... I take back what I said at the beginning, that's the one that I would give him if I were to strictly stick to canon. But the art that Uni made is also really cool. She did her best to maleify Anne's outfit. Also, speaking of all the other art, I feel stupid for not even bringing it up. The Hunter one is awesome, and I love that Willow is also wearing the Admiral Aramaki's Justice Cloak and his leather pants with the plants on them. Aramaki is actually shirtless, so Willow's just wearing her like yellow shirt. I would have put her Grudgeby outfit on her, honestly, because I think it's also green. I think that would have been a pretty cool idea, just giving her Grudgeby outfit, because I think it's also green. Back to Hunter, I just think it looks awesome. Like I said, it's really cool, and some of these look like they're just cosplaying the One Piece characters, which I still appreciate. It is awesome. The way this art came out for everyone is awesome. So let's go ahead and go on over to the next one. Swamp fruit. Amity. Amity being the user for the Numa Numa no Mi would be a lot cooler to see than Caribou. Caribou only uses Devil Fruit, his bottomless swamp, as a little pocket dimension where he can store anything he wants in there, which... My bad. Which in its own right is really cool, don't get me wrong. It's just not as creative as I feel like you could get with that fruit. Like, I think someone smarter than Caribou could probably put that fruit to a lot better use, which I feel like someone like Amity, who is supposed to be really smart, would be able to do stuff similar to what Pero and Prince Groose do with their devil fruits, where they bring up Prince Groose has clay. He makes clay golems that actually go out and follow commands, I guess. And same thing with Pero. He can make like candy slugs or candy monsters, and they'll follow what he tells them. I feel like Amity could do something similar, because I feel like she could get so much more creative with just like having the swamp slime coming out of her, because the way they represented Numa no Mi, it doesn't look like swampy, it looks more like slime or mud. So yeah, I think Amity could do a much better job. I do feel like the potential of the Numa is wasted on Kurabu, though I could be wrong about being able to do the other stuff, because the stuff I said about Prince Groose's fruit and Pero's fruit is that they're both paramecias, so maybe that's why it works with them. But who knows? I still feel like Amity would do a much better job, and if I were to pick any other fruit for her, it would probably be the Gellen's Venom fruit. I still think the swamp one works a bit better, but it's just not purple, and the venom is purple. Magma King. Saying that Titan magic is the strongest type of magic that we've seen in the Owl House, I believe is not a hot take or even wrong to say. We've seen just how strong this type of magic can be, from being able to create a giant kaiju monster, to bringing someone back to life, to the final battle in the series being between two Titan magic users. I could be wrong about that, and I could be wrong about the next thing I'm gonna say, which I've heard a lot actually. I just couldn't find anyone speaking about it now that, it's out of our minds. But back when Big Mom got thrown into the volcano filled with lava and we saw their bodies kind of like sizzling, a lot of people were arguing, well, is that enough to kill them? A lot of people were bringing up the statement that Oda was saying that in his mind, Magma was the strongest thing in the One Piece universe, or at least the most destructive thing. Which, if we're ignoring Haki, in essence, that would mean that someone who would eat the Magu no Mi would be the strongest or most destructive person in that world. And if we want to make a bit of sense with Bellows and the world government and One Piece and the Devil Fruits, we could change Bellows trying to get his hands on Titan blood to trying to get King's Devil Fruit, the quote-unquote strongest, most destructive Devil Fruit. Again, I could be wrong on some facts, but I just remember that being thrown out a lot when that happened, when that spoiler happened. It was a very small cut, so you gotta be careful with that. Bird fruit, la lechuza, Ida. If anyone wants to be like, oh, well, this fruit has never shown up in canon or known canon material, blah, blah, sure, but you really want to make the argument that there's not a zone for every animal out there when we have zones for mythical animals like the phoenix and dragon and stuff like that? I don't know, I find that kind of hard to believe. And jumping on the whole mythical owl, and jumping on the mythical fruits, I think there could totally be a variant of the bird fruit model owl, with it being the bird fruit mythical model La Lechuza. La Lechuza is pretty much a mythical folk tale of pretty much a were owl. It's a woman that during the day, she's a normal woman. My bad, I just like brain farted right there. She's a regular woman during the day, but during night she transforms into like a were owl sort of thing. I think that one would fit more since it's supposed to be kind of a curse, and Ida has the owl curse. So I think that would fit a bit better. But I mean, just the regular bird fruit, just a regular owl model is perfectly fine for her. And if we're being honest, it kind of just looks like the Harpy form, just a bit different. But if we have to pick, I would honestly go with La Lechuza. Real quick before this next one, this is a major spoiler to One Piece not being resolved or like said until chapter 1044 of the manga and episode this one in the anime. Not only that, this is also gonna be a pretty big spoiler for the finale of the Owl House. If you don't mind spoilers, then go ahead and enjoy. If you do, go ahead and skip to this time for Willow. The fruit of the protagonist passed on to another protagonist. The powers of the Gum Gum fruit, or the Hito Hito no Mi model Sun God Nika, are that of turning your body into rubber. It gives your body the attributes of rubber. But its awakening, or its real power, which is why we're calling it its awakening, there's a big chance that something like Gear 4 was the real awakening, but well, we're not talking One Piece theories right now. We're talking how this fruit fits loose. The real power of the fruit, though, is imagination. It's the power of that person's imagination. Pretty much being able to turn their imagination into reality by being able to mold certain things like if they were rubber. We see that during the Luffy Kaido fight, actually. Where Kaido says stuff like, "What I thought your body was rubber, not mine." And we see it be able to grab. We see Luffy be able to grab lightning from thunderclouds and shit like that. We also see him turn a little part of his like cloudy hair into goggles, into functioning goggles. So it seems that this fruit's awakening is that of, you know, just being able to put your imagination out there. For Luce, I do believe she'd be able to awaken this skill. She'd be able to awaken it. Not only because Luffy figuring out and struggling how to work with, like, I think it was like 10 years. For 10 straight years, he trained and struggled to use his fruit properly to be able to come out of his little village OP as fuck, if we're being honest. And through everything he's gone through with just a rubber body. Yeah, of course he was able to awaken it. And Luce also struggled a lot with magic. She didn't have the huge time frame of adventure or budget that Luffy has, but she struggled a lot with magic and eventually had to rely on the glyphs. Being able to turn a certain weakness into her strength. And also, the way Luffy gets Gear 5th is Kaido absolutely murders him. Kaido kills Luffy, and his heart starts up again. We don't know if the requirement for activating this fruit was dying, or if it was dying after observing a certain level of mastery with the fruit. Or if the fruit was just like, nah, Luffy needs to come back. Let me restart his heart real quick. But the point is, Luffy did die. I believe he does die during this encounter and comes back with Gear 5th. For Luce, in her the way she achieved her Titan form was she died. She, like, there's no yes, no, maybe. No, she died. But she came back thanks to Titan magic, which is what she ends up wielding during the final battle she has. So I like that connection, the fact that both protagonists die to achieve this power. I think it's a cool connection. Plus, I would really like to see Luce with this because, like, for Luffy, we see more rubber hose kind of like Toon Force esque powers from him. Um, but for Luz, like she reads like a lot of I forgot Azur the Good Witch. I think that was the name of the book she read. Like, what if she started doing like stuff like that, or turning like the ground around her into like animals from that? I don't know. It's weird because we don't know if she wouldn't be able to do that because we don't really know the extent of the fruit actually. But I think it'd be a lot of fun to see Luz fight with that fruit. Hopefully, a shorter video than the last one. For sure, shorter than the last one. Holy shit, that was an hour and 40 minutes long. But as I said, as I mentioned at the beginning, this was a video that I started kind of working on since the finale of the Owl House. Just because first I wanted to confirm the fact that that would happen. I forgot that we're past the spoilers. Um, and I also want to give a chance for anime viewers, anime only watchers from One Piece, to catch up. Anyway, I could probably be ranting about filler, whether it's good or bad for the story, for like an hour or so. So I'll see you guys later. You haven't watched Owl House. I don't know why you're here, but if you haven't watched it, it's good. Same for One Piece. Once again, if you haven't watched One Piece, I don't know what you would be doing here, but watch it. It's good. Yes, it's long, but trust me, dude, it's good. Have a great rest of your day or rest of your night, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Later!